大丈夫だ。
これは印象の原因になってくるんですよ。
From 1st to 3rd, June 2026, Typhoon No. 6 Jangmi brought widespread rainfall to Japan, affecting regions from the south to the east of the country. The storm produced large amounts of moisture that spread across the Japanese archipelago, leading to concerns about flooding, rising rivers, and landslides. Weather authorities issued warnings in multiple prefectures as rain bands moved across populated areas and mountainous regions. Although the system also generated strong winds and rough coastal conditions, heavy rainfall was the most significant impact of the storm. Across Japan, many rivers experienced rapidly rising water levels as continuous rain fell over already wet ground. Local governments closely monitored flood control systems and issued advisories in areas where flooding was possible. Low-lying communities faced the greatest risk, while mountainous regions were placed under landslide alerts because saturated soil could become unstable. Transportation networks were disrupted in several parts of the country with flight cancellations, rail delays, and road closures reported due to severe weather conditions. The storm's effects were especially noticeable in eastern Japan, where large amounts of rainfall fell over densely populated areas. Emergency services remained on alert throughout the event, and residents were encouraged to follow weather updates and prepare for possible evacuations if conditions worsened. Authorities emphasized that the greatest danger came from flooding and landslides rather than wind damage. Tokyo became one of the most closely watched areas as the storm moved northeastward. Between 2 and 3 June, bands of heavy rain passed over the Tokyo metropolitan area, bringing periods of intense rainfall and creating concerns about urban flooding. The capital's large population and extensive transportation network meant that even moderate flooding could cause significant disruption. Weather officials closely monitored conditions and issued warnings as rainfall intensified. In Tokyo, heavy rain accumulated across many districts, leading to waterlogged roads, flooded sidewalks, and localized drainage problems. Some streets experienced temporary flooding as drainage systems struggled to handle the volume of water falling within short periods. Drivers faced difficult conditions due to standing water and poor visibility, while pedestrians encountered flooded walkways and intersections. The rainfall caused delays across parts of the city's transportation network as operators prioritized passenger safety. One of the main concerns in Tokyo was the possibility of rivers exceeding safe levels. Authorities carefully monitored major waterways flowing through and around the city. Flood control facilities, including pumping stations and underground water diversion systems, were placed under close observation to ensure that excess rainfall could be managed effectively. Officials warned residents living near rivers to remain alert and prepared for possible evacuation notices if water levels rise. The heavy rainfall also affected commuter travel throughout the metropolitan area. Train services experienced delays, and some routes operated with reduced speeds due to weather conditions. Airports serving Tokyo faced disruptions because of weather-related delays and cancellations affecting flights across Japan.
るよ。なんで？ブルーシート。
ドン。
あっちの車もずれたで一緒に。
やばい。来た。
As a result, thousands of travelers experienced schedule changes during the peak of the storm. Although strong winds were reported in parts of the Tokyo region, they were generally less severe than the rainfall impacts. Occasional gusts caused minor damage, including fallen branches and scattered debris. Some localized power interruptions were reported, but widespread wind damage did not occur. For most residents, the storm was defined by the persistent rain rather than destructive winds. As rainfall continued, concerns about landslides increased in hilly areas surrounding Tokyo. The combination of steep terrain and saturated ground created conditions favorable for slope failures. Authorities issued precautionary warnings and encouraged residents in vulnerable locations to remain prepared. Emergency shelters were made available in some communities as a precautionary measure. By the evening of June 3rd, Typhoon No. 6 Jangmi had begun moving away from eastern Japan, and conditions gradually improved. Rainfall became lighter, river levels stabilized, and transportation services slowly returned to normal. However, officials continued monitoring flood-prone areas because the effects of heavy rainfall can persist even after a storm has passed. Throughout Japan, and particularly in Tokyo, Typhoon No. 6 Jangmi was remembered mainly for its heavy rainfall and the flood concerns it created. While winds contributed to some disruptions, the storm's greatest impact came from the large volumes of rain that affected communities, transportation systems, and daily life. The event demonstrated the importance of flood preparedness and highlighted the role of Tokyo's extensive flood control infrastructure in helping protect the city during periods of extreme weather. Thanks for watching Severe Weather, where we break down the facts behind nature's most intense moments. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support keeps this channel going. Hit the bell so you never miss a real, calm, and clear report. See you in the next one. Stay informed, stay safe.